I'm Jim.
I'm Andrea, and you're with the Childs.
You're with the Childs. Boom! We are a married couple, and one of us is an addict, and one of us is normal.
Semi-normal.
Semi-normal. Can you tell which one? I'm the addict. She's the semi-normal one. I'm 100% normal. I'm just an addict. Anyway, a few years ago, I had a secret. I was using drugs. I hid it from my family. And I had to get sober. I had to get clean.
How many years ago was that?
That was December of 2018 is when God said, you're done taking drugs.
Okay.
So, and I went to treatment, and this is how our lives have gone after treatment and how we came together as a family. And it was quite the journey and still is a journey, but it's awesome.
It's so awesome. And that's what we're here to talk to you about today, is how we support each other in recovery. Jim's recovery with his going to meetings every day and meeting with his sponsor weekly. Because in the beginning, that was hard for me.
It was hard for her. It was hard for her because there was no trust.
Exactly.
So I think that's what we should talk about.
Okay.
Is trust. And how it just doesn't happen.
Good
Right.
idea. Okay.
Just like that.
Yeah, I like
knuckle.
it. Sorry.
She hit me.
Sorry. Okay, so yeah, I didn't trust Jim for many years, come to find out.
And, right. For many years.
I think, so I'll talk about that a little bit. We've been married for 27 years.
It'll be 28 years.
28 years next month. So a lot of those years we had great trust, and I really don't know when our relationship really turned kind of sour. We have a restaurant. He's very busy with that. I was busy raising our kids, and he became, I thought, a workaholic. And as a wife, I felt very lonely. Do you remember those conversations where I would sit with him and I'd say, Jim, I really feel like I'm a single mom, because he was always at work. And I felt bad being out in the community and with our kids, and I often got told, Jim works a lot. And I felt bad about that because I felt like people were telling me I didn't work enough.
And that wasn't fair.
And that was a lot of my hurts that I've been working on lately. But anyway, so we'd have conversations about me feeling lonely, and I'm being very vulnerable here. It's really kind of scary to talk about this, but we are here to serve people that are in our same position. So I'm going to just do it. And so I talked to him about it. He said, I'll work on it. He maybe would come home at a decent time for 2 days, and then we were right back to where we were. And so I just kind of gave up on it. And then when we found out he was using drugs, it made sense. So then he gets into recovery, and of course I'm angry.
Hold on, I go to treatment.
Oh, you go to treatment. Yes.
Recovery and treatment are different.
So he goes to treatment. He was there for a month. He gets out, and our life again changes again, because now he has to go to meetings, he has to get a sponsor, and he has to work, and we have to run our business together. So.
And it was hard.
It was hard.
When I got out of treatment, I went home, and they always say in some of the rooms, you need to change your people, places, and things. Mm-hmm. And I did change my people. My places, I couldn't really change because we own our business, and that was my job. So I changed within our business, my role, which was uncomfortable because it was new. It wasn't familiar. And I think in recovery, you talk about being in the solution a lot. I mumbled, you be in the solution rather than stay in the problem. But sometimes being in the problem is comfortable because you know how to navigate in that problem. And you don't have to be an addict to feel this way.
Yeah.
Whatever way or however you're living your life, if something's not really working and it's unhealthy, but it's your unhealthy and it's your thing to navigate through, being in the solution is like it's like an uncomfortable conversation, or it's just, it doesn't feel right. Like if your shoulder's out of place and you get it put back in place, but it's been out of place for a while, your shoulder wants to go back to where it was, the path of least resistance, because it knows how to hurt there, it knows how to feel there, it knows how to do what it needs to do there, but you have to keep going back to the chiropractor to get it to stay in the right place.
While you're talking on that topic, I want to mention too, as for me, for example, I had to, I can go back to being triggered. So that what you're talking about makes me think, so I'm going to have slip ups too, and have those moments where I'm really not going to trust you, or I'm really feeling angry, or maybe you're doing something that makes me remember when, oh gosh, he was using when he did that and he's doing that now. So for me to be able to talk to you about those things is such a game changer, because, does that make sense?
Oh yeah. So 4 years ago, this happened the other day, but the difference is the way I approached it, and maybe the way she approached it. But we were in the car together and she said, I think I see something on your nose. And I said, well, I don't know what it is. And I said, is it Kleenex? And she said, well, I don't know. And it was immediately awkward. I was immediately uncomfortable because,
as was I,
I'm not doing anything wrong, but all of a sudden I went from totally comfortable to scared. Like, I don't want to fight about this. I don't want to,
Well, you had nothing to hide.
Right. Mm-hmm. And so I'm on the defensive when I don't have anything to hide. And when I get on the defensive, or if I get scared that we're going to fight, if I get us scared, if I get scared we're going to fight, then my toes dig in and I get angry. And then if I get angry, I'll roll the window up and then I won't talk. And that's how it used to be. Mm-hmm. So what I said to her was, I'm not doing anything wrong. I said, are you feeling triggered? She said a little bit. Mm-hmm. And I said, well, I'm not doing anything, and if I'll take a test if you want me to. But I wasn't a jerk about it.
Right.
There's a difference when you're innocent and your partner is questioning you, and you have a drug test, and I'll take the hell out of that test right now and give it to you with a negative result. But that doesn't, yes, it's negative. No, I wasn't doing anything wrong, but I still hurt her feelings. Mm-hmm. I still was an ass, and I don't need to be that way. And that took a lot of time and effort.
Well, you're right. While you're there, I want to touch back to where we were a few minutes ago, and that is when I wanted to talk about this a few minutes ago, where when you first started your process of recovery, and we had to do some things differently. So I had to tell you what I needed, and you needed to tell me what you needed. So one of the things I needed at that time was I had to ask Jim. Really, I told him. I was still very angry at that time, and said, you cannot have this person in your life, this one, and a couple of them were good friends of ours. And they said, you can't talk to him anymore. And I really don't know how that made you. You were very, okay, when I listed off all the people. And how did you feel it when I asked that of you? I
just knew from going to treatment, and in treatment, they don't make you better. You're in a facility where there's no outs. You're in a bubble, so you get to think about yourself. You get to be honest, I felt guilty after it kind of settled in my mind that I am not at work. I am at a drug rehab, and I felt like I was away at some summer camp, even though it wasn't, but I felt guilty, like I should be working. I've never taken this much time off work. But the things I learned in there was about, I'm going to go back to the people, places, and playthings. If you don't want to live a certain way, then you need to not be around the people that are living that way. There's a saying, your vibe attracts your tribe, I guess.
So, but you said the treatment center didn't help you.
It didn't do the things for you, I guess.
Okay.
The treatment center gives you all these tools. You've got this grindle of tools that you don't know how to use.
Right.
And
the feelings, and to talk about the things that hurt you and maybe why you're where you're at, and to confront those.
Yeah.
hurts.
So it's a lot. It's a lot. And that's why, I'm going to go back to why we're doing this podcast. Because also in the rooms, one of the things that it says is we need to freely give what's been given to us so we can keep it. And for me, in recovery, I am very selfish with my recovery. I've worked hard to have it. I've worked hard to keep it. And I don't want to give it up. And I so wish that I could just hand peace of mind to somebody who's struggling, to know that they will get there if they work a program.
And I want to help you in your recovery because I love you and I care for you. And so that's why I'm doing this, because I want to help other people in our situation to support their person in recovery, because it'll make all the difference, I believe.
A good support system, like anything, it's not complicated. Living in recovery, be honest, be open-minded, and be willing to change. I was not any of those things.
No,
4 years ago.
You were not. And even, honestly, the first year after you got out of treatment was very hard, too. You still weren't very open. You were trying, but it was hard for you to grasp in those. You know what it reminds me of? We just watched Interstellar, and when that ship attaches to the station in outer space, and how we're watching the little claws approach.
Click.
Yeah, and click and attach. That was hard for you.
Yeah, well, I was a clicker.
Click. But you did it.
And
it's been wonderful ever since.
Yes, it has.
Mm-hmm.
It has. So, I lost my train of thought.
Okay, let's start another one.
Okay, we're starting another one. So, learning how to be honest, open-minded, and willing. I had to turn the lens. You have to fix yourself before you can be part of a relationship and help fix that relationship. Before your family starts to heal, you have to do it for you. Mm-hmm. And our iPad shut off, so it
Can I interrupt you? Don't forget your thought.
Okay.
But while your person is doing that, my person was doing that, I felt it was important for me to do the same. I had to work on me while you were working on yourself. Because if I'm angry that you're getting help and to get better, that's a problem.
It is. And
my problem.
And that's one of the things you realize is it starts with you and ends with you. Mm-hmm. For everyone. Yeah. And I cannot control how she's going to feel all all I can control is my
Mhm.
self, my decisions and my actions.
Yep. And that is what that's what you did for me to be able to trust your process while working on myself. You did things to build that, which is lose all the old people that you were dealing with. You were very honest and transparent with me about everything. I even was in control of the money for a while. And
She's still in control of the money.
yeah, but now I give him money, and I'm
you can keep that. You can have that money.
And I
Maybe
have
you
no
can get a
worries.
massage or something.
Yeah. So
That's
yeah.
honest, open-minded, and willing.
Mm-hmm.
I had to become those things before we could start working together. And it's funny how recovery oozes its way out into it. I don't want to say AA or NA, so I'm just going to say in the rooms. In the books, one of the books, it says, and if you practice these principles in all of your affairs, you'll live a life of happy and joy, happy, joyous, and free. And it's not like that every day, but for the most part, I get up in the morning, I'm excited for the day. Some days I'm more excited for than other days, like on days where we have to do payroll. Well, I'm not really excited about that, but I'll do it. And I do it and with vigor, I said,
what does freedom feel like to you now? You said happy and free is what you said.
Freedom feels like I'm not chained to anything.
What did being chained to feel like? I'm curious.
Using drugs, you knew you were going to be sick if you didn't have any drugs. So you were always searching and making sure you didn't run out. And it's a horrible way to live. And now being away from that and having some time, I do not want to be chained to anything. And a lot of times I think that once you lose the drugs, it's not just the drugs that you're chained to. You're chained to resentments and grudges and all the different things that you've drug along, as baggage. I feel like the ghost of Christmas past, where he's got the chains and he's just dragging all these trunks around with him. And, one by one, I had to cut those loose, and I had to make amends. I had to talk to people. I had to forgive people. And I talked about it in the last podcast about my soul. My soul on the inside feels clean, like a clean, tidy Walt Disney cartoon cottage. And there's a wood floor, and there's a broom in the corner with the quills. And if I get a resentment or if I'm angry at someone, I feel like someone just threw mud on my clean floor, and I got to deal with it. I don't want that to fester and grow, because of resentment. I know that recovery for me is 24 hours at a time. Today, I'm not going to pick up. Today, I'm going to practice being better than I was yesterday.
Can I interrupt you
Yes.
there to help? So this is what I've done for our family, for you, for myself, and that is I support you in your recovery. In the sense of because I want you to keep feeling this way. I don't want to get in the way of your joy and your happiness. So I support you going to your meetings. I support you going to your sponsor. And what I have enjoyed is going to the place where you go for your recovery meetings and be around your new friends. And some of them have become my friends. And I've gone on trips with you guys.
Yeah.
And and I love it.
And that wouldn't have happened if,
people.
before maybe we would have gone on a trip, but it's like looking at life through a different lens now.
Yeah. It's a whole
Like
new world.
every day is a new thing. Every day I am clean and sober longer than I have ever been in my entire life. Every day. And I don't know, I'm eager to see how good life can be. And that inner child, maybe we should finish with this. The inner child, when you are a 12-year-old kid and you woke up in the morning and whatever you were into, BMX bikes, skateboarding, whatever, you were going to do it with your friends. I think of Stand By Me when they're on their little adventure and they're hiking and they're out on a trek. And it's pure, it's honest, and it's exciting. And I lost that for so long. And to have it back, to feel that way again, is a miracle. And I just want everybody to have the miracle. So stick it out. Don't quit before the miracle happens. How do you feel now? I feel like a kid reborn. How do you feel on your day-to-day when you wake up in the morning? How's that changed for you?
Oh my gosh. Okay, so that's a great question. Thank you for asking. It really is, because just recently, so yesterday, I'm doing things that I'm enjoying doing now. And I feel like I have so much energy. I feel happy, like literally happy. There's just happiness in me. So, and I hadn't had these feelings in a long time before your recovery. I was kind of on autopilot, raising kids, feeling the way I was feeling with myself, insecure. I didn't realize I was insecure, but I was very insecure. So now I feel I'm getting great sleep. I wake up. I'm excited to have coffee with you. Although I think maybe we need to change our morning plan, because I think I need to wake up and just get busy. Remember how years before I wanted to have coffee with you in the morning? Like I wanted to read the newspaper and drink coffee at the table. Never got it. But then you get sober and we're doing it. And now I think I might have to ask you if we can just wake up and get ready for the day. So I can, because I'm a slow mover.
Willing to change. I gotta be willing to change.
So I'm excited for the day. I'm excited to do the things that I enjoy doing, which is our restaurant. Supporting our kids, but kind of learning to detach from them a little bit so they can live their lives. And I'm excited for my little side hustle I'm doing. And I'm excited to get healthy.
Do the hustle.
What have we been doing to get healthy?
So she always brings this to the table.
What?
So doing new things.
Oh, always. Because why?
Because you're happy.
I'm watching YouTube.
Oh yeah, she
all
does
the
watch
time.
YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
We're doing intermittent fasting, where we stop eating at 6 p.m. and then we only drink water until 10 a.m. and then we're trying to eat a little more sensibly.
Yeah.
But the big thing is that not eating past 6 p.m., letting your body actually sleep and quit putting things in so your body can do the things that it needs to do at night while you're sleeping.
Yeah. That's amazing.
It is
We're
amazing.
feeling great. So yeah, I'm very happy. I'm very, very happy. And guys, it isn't perfect. We still
we still have arguments.
Our ups and downs, right? Yeah.
But an argument. We disagree on something. and say I would get mad. I would yell, slam the door, and then I wouldn't talk to her.
You could go for
days.
3 days, yeah.
And now, if we have an argument, we don't argue that much, but I don't like that.
Yeah, I don't either.
I don't, it's like having that mud thrown on my floor in my little Walt Disney
But I
cottage.
do ask you if there's anything you need to talk to me about or anything on your heart, because I don't want you holding things in. If I'm doing something that you're not liking, I want to know about it.
Oh, yeah.
And when I'm asking the question, I need to be able to accept the answer and talk about it and understand that.
Don't ask me no questions and I'll tell you no lies.
You're so cute. You're so cute.
So, we're happy that you're all here.
We're so happy that you're here. We're happy to spend our YouTube time with you.
Our YouTube time. Our living room looks like a TV studio. It's wild.
It does.
Maybe one episode we'll turn the camera so you can see all the stuff. But anyway.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Thank you for being with us today.
Let's put our first episode in the, I don't know, we'll put it somewhere so you guys are able to find it pretty fast. And watch that one. It tells the story at the start of our
journey.
Yeah. We do need to make clear, though, that this is our story, and we're not doctors, counselors, and we're not professionals. We've just been through it, and we want to help other people in their four walls to maybe just plant a little seed to help you in your life and in your families, in your hearts.
It's definitely, we're not doing this for a how-to.
No.
We're just experiencing. We're sharing our experience, our hope, our strength that we found that work for us. And if it will help somebody else be happy, joyous, and free, then it's worth it.
It's so worth it. Thanks, guys.
Thanks. Boom!